Gloves on, legacy at stake, the night football's greatest rivalry entered the ring. The lights dim. The crowd, already electric, rises to its feet. This is not a Champions League final. There is no grass, no tactical formations, no last-minute substitutions. Instead, under a single spotlight, two silhouettes walk toward a boxing ring. On one side stands the embodiment of power, precision, and relentless self-belief. On the other stands, quiet, composed, carrying the weight of genius in every movement. For nearly 2 decades, the world has argued about them, compared them, defended them, debated them in barbershops, classrooms, stadiums, and social media threads across continents. But tonight, imagination dares to ask a different question. If their rivalry left the pitch and entered the ring, who would truly dominate? A rivalry that redefined modern sport. Before the fictional bell even rings, understanding this face-off requires revisiting what makes Ronaldo versus Messi more than just a sporting comparison. Their rivalry is not built on opposition alone. It is built on contrast. Ronaldo, explosive, sculpted, theatrical, an athlete who seems engineered for spectacle. Messi, subtle, instinctive, surgical, a player whose brilliance often looks effortless. They didn't just compete. They forced each other to evolve, raising standards season after season in ways sport had rarely seen. Translating that rivalry into a boxing metaphor reveals something fascinating. They represent two completely different fighting philosophies. Ronaldo, the power puncher. If Ronaldo were a boxer, analysts would call him the ultimate physical specimen. Everything about his career reflects traits associated with elite fighters. Obsessive conditioning, explosive acceleration comparable to knockout force. A mentality built on confrontation rather than avoidance. Confidence bordering on intimidation. Ronaldo's footballing journey has always been about imposing himself. He thrives in moments of drama, late goals, hostile crowds, pressure situations where personality becomes as important as skill. In boxing terms, he is the fighter who steps forward, controls the center, and dares opponents to withstand his intensity. He doesn't wait for the fight to come to him. He creates the fight. Messi, the tactical counterpuncher. Messi, in contrast, mirrors the archetype of a defensive master, the boxer who wins not by overwhelming force, but by timing, intelligence, and reading the opponent. Throughout his career, Messi has dismantled defenses the way a counterpuncher dismantles aggression. Minimal wasted motion, extraordinary balance, ability to anticipate before reacting, precision over power. Where Ronaldo represents confrontation, Messi represents control. He lets chaos approach, then quietly reshapes it. In a boxing narrative, Messi is the fighter who seems almost passive, until you realize every movement is calculated 3 steps ahead. Strength versus efficiency, the eternal debate. The imagined bout becomes symbolic of a larger philosophical question in sport. Is greatness defined by force, or by finesse? Ronaldo supporters argue. Athletic dominance proves superiority. Adaptability across leagues and systems shows resilience. Leadership is loud, visible, undeniable. Messi supporters counter. Economy of movement is harder to master than raw athleticism. Creativity is the highest expression of sport. Influence can be quiet yet overwhelming. The beauty of their rivalry is that neither argument has ever fully defeated the other. The mental game, confidence versus calm. Boxing, perhaps more than football, is psychological warfare. And here again, their personalities diverge dramatically. Ronaldo's mindset resembles the fighter who declares victory before the first punch. His confidence fuels performance. He turns belief into momentum. Messi's psychology is different. He doesn't announce. He observes. Then he acts, often devastatingly, without spectacle. One thrives on the noise. The other thrives on silence. If this were truly a boxing match, fans wouldn't just watch physical exchanges. They would watch two mental universes collide. Training styles. Two roads to perfection. Imagine their preparation camps. Ronaldo's would be intense, structured, almost military. Strength sessions measured to the gram. Endless repetition. A visible pursuit of physical perfection. Messi's would appear looser but no less demanding. Movement drills built around rhythm. Reaction training. Emphasis on intuition rather than choreography. Both paths lead to excellence, but through completely different landscapes. Why the world is still fascinated. Even imagining this scenario captivates fans because their rivalry never felt confined to football. They became symbols. Ronaldo, ambition, transformation, and visible hard work. Messi, authenticity, natural brilliance, and instinctive mastery. People see themselves in one or the other. That emotional identification is why debates about them feel personal. A fictional boxing face-off becomes compelling not because it could happen, but because it dramatizes a rivalry already etched into global culture. Styles make fights, even imaginary ones. In combat sports, analysts often say, styles make fights. The same has always been true for Ronaldo and Messi. Ronaldo's style is vertical, explosive runs, aerial dominance, direct confrontation. Messi's style is horizontal, weaving patterns, manipulating space, bending reality in tight areas. Translating that into boxing imagery. Ronaldo throws decisive combinations. Messi slips them, responding with surgical counters. Neither cancels the other. They create tension, the essence of every great rivalry. The verdict that never comes. Here is the twist. The world doesn't actually want a final answer. The debate has endured precisely because it cannot be settled. Statistics help, trophies influence opinions, but neither erases the other's brilliance. A definitive result would end the conversation. And this rivalry was never meant to end. It was meant to define an era. Beyond competition, a shared legacy. What history will remember is not who won, but what happened because they competed simultaneously. Because Ronaldo existed, Messi pushed further. Because Messi existed, Ronaldo refined himself endlessly. Together, they stretched football's possibilities. Higher scoring standards, greater professionalism, a global audience emotionally invested in excellence. They didn't just fight for greatness. They expanded its definition. The final bell that never rings. In our imagined arena, there is no knockout. No judges' scorecards. No unanimous decision. Instead, the crowd leaves still arguing, just as it has for years. Because Ronaldo versus Messi was never about proving one superior. It was about witnessing two different interpretations of greatness unfolding at the same time. And perhaps that is the real victory. Not choosing between them, but realizing sport was lucky enough to have both. Please don't forget to subscribe.